Hiya! Welcome! This is Records Roundup number 96. Wow, only 4 away from the big 100. Still trying to think of ideas of something a bit different or special to do for the 100th episode. If anyone's got any ideas. You probably haven't. I haven't got any myself yet, but do let me know. Anyway, that's for in the future. Let's concentrate on the here and now, and I'll show you the latest batch of records that I've picked up over the last few weeks. Starting out with a 7-inch single that came out about the end of February. I think I got it a little after release date, but it was coming from Germany. Very, very excited when this was announced, as I wasn't expecting any new material at any point in the near future from In Strict Confidence. But this is their new single, a cover of Depeche Mode's Blasphemous Rumours. Apparently they're due to release a new album, presumably later this year. Whether this will be on it or not, I don't know. What with it being a cover version, you'd think it might be a standalone single, but perhaps it'll be on the new album. ISC have got form for covering Depeche Mode. Their cover of Stripped, which came out, maybe even getting on for 25 years ago. Fantastic. This is a good cover. It doesn't differ massively from the Depeche Mode original, but it's a bit heavier, more industrial, as you would imagine. I've not heard the mixes on here yet. You can see what the track titles and the remixes are called. Quick look at the vinyl, as it did come unsealed anyway, just standard black. And this was from, of course, the ISC web store. Needless to say, I am looking out for an announcement on when I can pre-order the new album. Perhaps they'll even release another physical single before then. But new stuff coming from ISC. The last few releases they've done that I've picked up have been vinyl reissues of their early albums, which I hope they'll still continue to do. One of my very favourite bands in the world, Blasphemous Rumours, ISC.
Thank the Lord for his mercy. Fighting back the tears, mother reads the note again. 16 candles burning her mind. She takes the blame, it's always the same. She goes underneath and prays. I don't want to start any blasphemous rumors, but I think that God's got a sixth sense of humor, and when I die, I expect to find him loving.
On now to a 12-inch single that I picked up from Whatnot. That is, of course, the UK auction app. A lot of vinyl sellers on there now. Had to interrupt myself there as I realised I'd not turned my extra ring light on. Yeah, it's probably made a little bit of a difference. Fortunately, I'm filming in daylight. You unlucky people were still able to see me even before getting old. Right, anyway, 12-inch single from Whatnot. This was £6, and then another £3 something in postage. I wasn't looking for it, really. It's just something that came up in someone's listings. This was the first 7-inch single that I ever bought as a child. This would have been, when did it originally come out? It'll say on screen in a moment, but I think it was 1989. This is the 12-inch single, so it's not technically the same as my very first single, because that was the smaller format. But anyway, it is French Kiss by Lil Louis. I believe the B-side is different on the 12-inch than it was to the 7. Got to number 2 in the UK. Great kind of, I was going to say early acid house track. I don't think 89's particularly early for acid house. I think that was more 1988, maybe even tail end of 87. And obviously it was a spin-off from house music, which you could argue was probably gaining prominence around 1986. Yep, just really happy to have that. Brings back a lot of memories. Always loved the single. Yes, it's got the orgasmic moans in it. That's not the reason I like it, and plus I wouldn't have even turned 9 years old when I got the original one. I wouldn't have really understood what that was all about. Yes, it would take at least another 30 years. Anyway, this is the 12-inch French Kiss by Lil Louis. We go from a French Kiss to a French artist now, one who I collect from time to time. This is the first of 3 pickups from Dig Vinyl in Liverpool. I've not used them in an awful long time. There was a little bit of a mix-up, which I'll explain in a couple of records' time, but generally happy with the order, and I will still recommend Dig Vinyl to people. First one to show you from there is Electronic Gainsbourg, or is it Electronica Gainsbourg? Yes, it is. Kind of impulsive, really, but I always say if I can find Serge Gainsbourg records that I don't own at a reasonable price, I will likely pick them up. And I think this one and the next one, they're around £20, give or take. Maybe this one slightly more, as this is a double album. This one came unsealed, so possibly pre-owned, but don't bother me either way. Although looking at the vinyl, that looks absolutely mint to me. It doesn't look like it's been played hardly, if at all. On that disc anyway, that is the second LP. I'm not going to get the first one out to inspect that. Rather self-explanatorily, it's remixes of Serge Gainsbourg tracks. I have just took a punt on this really, without trialing any of the tracks on it. It's just for the Serge collection. I don't think I'll enjoy it as much as his standard work, really. Few names on here that I'm familiar with in relation to the remixing, and certainly a few tracks on here that I'm familiar with because I own them on prior albums. But thought I'd give it a go. I love Serge and Electronica Gainsbourg. Also from Dig, more Serge. This is Essential Gainsbourg. This is really like a cheap and cheerful compilation album, but I looked at this, the price, this was definitely under £20, it's probably about £17.50 or something like that. And I was looking at the track listing, and I don't think anything on there I own, because a lot of this stuff that's on this album, and it's just a one-discer by the way, on black vinyl, is from the late 50s, and I don't think I own anything from Gainsbourg from that period. Most of the stuff I have from him is from the late 60s onwards, really. So this is kind of really a compilation of his early work, at least looking at the dates on here, up to around 1962. But it was a cheap compilation, and that's really the only reason I got it. Essential Gainsbourg. Okay, now I did order 2 more albums in this order from Dig Vinyl, but I only received one. Well, I did receive another one, but it was the wrong one. I'll show you this 3rd album from there now, and then I'll explain what happened. So this is Break Loose, the Lars 1985 to 1986, a compilation of early and previously unreleased, well, not previously when this came out in 2020, but originally it wasn't released on a proper album or singles or anything. This was around £20, good value. It's been catching my eye, this and the other record that I'm going to talk about, for a long time. I think they had CD issues, at least a couple, since the early 2000s. I don't think I know anything on here. So Lars, of course, from Liverpool, released on the 80s Vinyl Records label, which is a Liverpool-based label, and more on those in a moment. So I ordered this one and what is really the accompaniment album, Calling All, and they didn't send me Calling All, they sent me the Lars normal self-titled studio album by mistake, which I already own. I got in touch with them and I said, oh, you've sent me the wrong thing. And they said, oh, sorry about that, Calling All's out of stock now, we'll let you know when it's back in stock and sort it out, which I'm sure they will. However, I didn't want to wait, so after contacting Dig Vinyl, that I would go on 80s Vinyl Records website, or rather the site within a site. That's the record label, but then where you buy their records from is actually 80s Casual, and I decided I would get Calling All from there, so I have ended up with this. When Dig Vinyl might get in touch with me to let me know they've got this in stock, I mean, whether I'll just say, oh, let's call it quits, or, you know, they offer some sort of refund, because the Lars album that they sent, I've given that to my youngest daughter, as I donated my old Audio-Technica record player to her some weeks ago and bought her a record for it, and then I thought, well, you know what, the Lars is a good album, I'll try and get her into those, and, you know, she can have another record, because it did cost me something really, but it's fine. Anyway, Calling All, 86 to 87, a lot more stuff that I'm familiar with, but it's going to be like early versions, maybe demos. In fact, yes, it says the original demo recordings of the Lars album, restored and remastered. I figured with having Break Loose, I wanted this as well. This was actually cheaper at 80s Casual than it was at Dig Vinyl by about £5, but really happy that I got both of those Lars compilation type albums.
Give it all you got now. Said give it all you got now. Give it all you got now. Said give it all you got now. Yeah, give a little. Let me tell you this, for I will count it this. Don't see us, sonny, 'cause I don't think that's funny, and I'm telling you this. Get away out of this, 'cause I don't need to miss. To get away out of this. Yeah, give it all you got now. Said give it all you got now. Yeah, give it all you got now. Said give it all you got now. Yeah, give a little.
Here's an album I picked up from Amazon. Don't buy a lot of vinyl from Amazon, but certainly when there's an Amazon exclusive that catches my eye, I will, well, obviously want to get it if I can. This is a record that came out, I think it was towards the tail end of 2024. I held off on it even though I'm a big fan of this group, and it's one I saw live about 6 months ago. But what with me having a hits compilation of theirs on mini disc and all their other albums spread over MD and LP, this never felt like an absolutely essential purchase to me, but it has felt something of a hole in the Lightning Seeds collection. It is Tomorrow's Here Today, 35 years of the Lightning Seeds. I think it was a bit under £30, and then as a Prime member I got free postage. But when I saw that there was an Amazon exclusive version, because originally I was just looking for the standard retail black vinyl version, and then Discogs alerted me that there was an Amazon exclusive, so I thought, oh, let's see if they still got it, and they have. The same sort of things that are on the Like You Do Best of the Lightning Seeds mini disc compilation that I've had for many years now. There's a few differences, there'll be some omissions certainly, and some additions I can see that isn't on the mini disc comp. I'll show you one of the discs. Please go into my various shish playlist and have a look at my Lightning Seeds concert vlog, or kind of vlog. Alice, my youngest, and I had a great time at the Winding Wheel in Chesterfield seeing Ian Browdy and his group last year. I can't remember what this is classed as. On camera it's coming out like a kind of metallic-y grey blue. To my eyes, as I sit here looking at it, it's more purpley. But whatever the colour it says in the description is what it was advertised as. That's the exclusive colour vinyl variant anyway. Great band. Talked about them before, particularly in the Winding Wheel concert video. Happy to finally have got Tomorrow's Here Today.
I don't care what songs you sing.
Now for some pickups from Discogs. 2 from different sellers but the same artist. This is one of my favourite rappers. I haven't got a full discography by him. I've been trying to pick up his stuff when I've seen it on sale. I've never been absolutely desperate for all his studio albums, and I think one of his albums has not yet had a LP issue anyway, but this one certainly did. It's DMX, Year of the Dog Again. From 2006, I think this is. In fact, I think this actual record is from 2006. It's not a more modern reissue, but it is still new and sealed. It's black vinyl, so I've not unsealed it to show you. Not much to say about this. I wasn't really familiar with anything on it, but I've enjoyed DMX's work. I mean, for me, it's kind of a little bit under the level of my all-time favourites, Tupac and Biggie, really. He's still one of my favourite solo artists, and certainly up there with my favourite hip-hop artists, really. We lost him in, what year was that? Was that 2021? I know he'd had certain health and substance addiction issues over the years. Another DMX studio album for the collection, Year of the Dog Again.
I really need to talk to you, Lord, since the last time we talked. Walk has been hard. Now I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown, and I'm still going through it. Pain and the hurt, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. And I know only I can stop the rain with just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus, devil, I rebuke you for what I go through and trying to make me do what I used to. But all that stops right here. As long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. Will show no shame, spit it right from the heart. Cause it's right from the start. You held me down and ain't nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign.
Let me know what's on your mind.
What?
Let me know what I'm gonna find.
Yeah.
It's all in time.
Come on.
Show me how to teach the mind.
Yeah.
Show me how to reach the blind.
Lord, give me a sign.
Show me what I got to do.
What?
To bring me closer to you. Cause I'ma go through whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do.
Lord, give me a sign.
But staying with DMX, I decided I would pick this up, The Legacy. Now this is a greatest hits compilation for all intents and purposes. It originally came out for RSD Black Friday, I think 2020, although was that classed as Black Friday after the pandemic and lockdowns and stuff? I can't remember. I know it was only like 5 minutes ago, but that's my memory for you, as demonstrated with the ring light earlier. Double album this. I did unseal this prior, as I wanted to look at the vinyl. I think this is the US edition as well. I got it from a seller on Discogs who seems to specialise in importing American LPs, but for the UK or UK and European market, so you're not paying the loading postage and taxes and stuff. And this is on a relatively transparent red, and it is 2 LPs, but the second disc will look the same. So I do know some of the stuff on here, probably most of it actually, such as Party Up, X Gonna Give It To You. Just thought, as this was about 20 I think, which for a US import, or it had been imported at some point, I thought that was a good price. Year of the Dog, by the way, I think that was a similar price. I don't like paying too much for DMX, because although I'm a fan, I don't absolutely love the bones of him. That is DMX, The Legacy. Here's an act who I did say in the last Records Roundup, I think, you might not be seeing much more from them for a while, but I did manage to lay my hands on another album from Blutengle, and this is, and I do apologise because this is going to be an awful pronunciation, In Alle Ewigkeit. Ewigkeit, I don't know. Mini album. Seem to have done a lot of these mini albums, or a fair few, as well as full-length albums and other singles, some of which I have been able to pick up over the past few months. Slightly different kind of proposition with this Blutengle release, as it's like a doubling up set, because we've got the CD, which has got the exact same tracks on. There's no bonus material or alternate material on that, and even the CD sleeve is very boring. You know, it's handy for some people maybe that you get the CD in with the record. Not exactly anything that I'm normally bothered about, but it does happen. I'll show you the vinyl. I know it's only black, which is a bit unusual for Blutangle, just to release something on black vinyl. So there we go, another for the Blutangle collection. I really do think that this will be the last thing of theirs I get for a while, but I ought to stop saying that because I still keep checking on Discogs, and if someone's got a good deal out there, then I'll get it. Oh, and this was from a seller in Italy.
Durch das Finster der Nacht, bis das Gold unserer Seelen zum Leben erwacht. Gib niemals auf, wenn der Himmel auch weint. Im Grunde der Herzen sind wir längst vereint. Die Hölle gewährt, wenn wir brennen und sehen. Es ist nicht an uns, diese Welt zu verstehen.
Wir sind Kinder der Sterne. Wir verglühen im Raum, wir strahlen uns an und berühren uns kaum. Wir sind Kinder der Sterne. Wir sind Kinder der Sterne, Kinder der Sterne. Wir sind Kinder der Sterne.
Right, here's one. It only came a couple of days ago actually. It's been out since I think October or November of last year. It was released to celebrate the 30th anniversary of her studio album, and it is Bedtime Stories, the Untold Chapter from Madonna. Now, I'm a Madonna collector, but I only collect her albums from the 80s and 90s, and also I've got Music, which is 2000. Last year also came out Veronica Electronica, which was a sort of mini album rather than an EP. This is classed as an EP, but there again, I would personally call it a mini album myself. That was remixes and alternate versions from the Ray of Light era, and I suppose this is a slightly similar kind of thing, but for the Bedtime Stories era, this has come out to coincide with the anniversary of the original release of Bedtime Stories. Not my favourite Madonna album, I do own it, and it's fine for what it is, but it's not her best work in my opinion. The little bits I've heard on here so far, I've enjoyed. Weirdly, it's like the back of it's printed on upside down, look. That's probably deliberate. I knew this was black vinyl, but I did open it because, and I bought this from This Is Dig, or Dig Music, who are at the moment seemingly rebranding back into Rhino, which they used to be. It used to be Rhino Music Store UK, and then they rebranded to Dig, and now they seem to be going back to being Rhino. They sent a code out for 20% off anything on site to celebrate their return to being Rhino. And as I'd always thought, I will get this one day, but I don't want to pay full price for it. I figured now's the time, and it ended up being £25 brand new. But I opened it because on the website it was advertised that it could come with postcards, but obviously all the postcard editions would have sold out a long time ago because there were no postcards in this, but that's fine. It's the album I wanted, or the EP mini album. Not massively excited to have it or even listen to it, just because I know this period of Madonna isn't my favourite by any stretch, but just nice to get some more Madonna into the collection. As I say, I limit myself with what I buy of hers really. But that is the Untold Chapter of Bedtime Stories.
No doubt about it. You're the one that I've been waiting for, and I don't have to think about it. This is it. I know there's so much more with you. You're like a dream that came true. Oh, you're like a fantasy that came into my life. And every day is so much brighter. You're right on time. Birds are singing just because they're next to you. Bells are ringing. Maybe you're my dream
now to pick up from Action Records in Preston, who I've used once or twice in the past. This is from an artist, a solo artist, who I started collecting and showed you his 3 recent studio albums in the last Records Roundup, number 95. And I really want to fill some gaps. He does such evocative and immersive work as a synth artist. I'm talking about Warrington-Runcorn New Town Development Plan, and this is his third studio album, Districts, Roads, Open Space. So this was £30 at Action. It was the cheapest, even though it's come out in a lot of different colour variants. This was the cheapest I'd seen it on Discogs anywhere, certainly. And then I went on Action Records' normal homepage after seeing it listed with quite a lot in postage. For some reason, they were charging £10 postage on Discogs, but I knew that if I went to the website, the postage would be like £3.50. Anyway, I think this is classed as camouflage vinyl. There we go, it's a kind of translucent minty green with a bit of black marbling in it. Very nice indeed. That I don't think is the original inner, because we've got an inner in there. That looks like something that Action Records or maybe a previous owner has used, but it's poly-lined. It's nice, I won't turn my nose up. It's a good quality inner sleeve. So that is Districts, Roads and Open Space. End with a mail opening, as we always do, and this is a Discogs pickup. So back to Discogs, it's come in the post just mere minutes ago. This album cost me $40, but for this artist, spoiler alert, it's the same as the one I've just shown. The work that I'm lacking now is rather more expensive than all those bargains from his Bandcamp that I picked up last time. Come here. Tight squeeze, but we're in. Few bits to look at here as I chuck bits of cardboard all over the place. This seller has taped this protective outer sleeve as well, which is kind of a good idea, but it's quite a good quality protector, this. It's okay, I've not damaged that, so stick that there for a moment. I'll just get the sleeve out so that I can actually tell you the name of the album. The debut from Warrington-Runcorn New Town Development Plan, Interim Report, March 1979. There again, it's come out on a few different formats, or vinyl variants I should say. All of them kind of deleted now. I dare say this, and probably even District Roads as well, will get reissued by Castles in Space, his record label, eventually. But I'm kind of too impatient to wait. The second album, which I think is People in Industry, that's the one that there's relatively few pressings of, and it does go for a lot on the aftermarket. So if he is going to do any reissue in any point, I'd hope People in Industry would be the one, because that's kind of the one I'm missing now. Anyway, let's have a look at what we've got in here. A couple of bits, like a postcard. Yeah, it's a Castles in Space postcard, and also a Castle in Space sticker. So nice stuff. It's good that the previous owner has retained that stuff. That'll be the original inner sleeve, or is it just an insert? It feels too thick to be an insert. No, I think it is actually. It's just, yeah, it's an insert, that. So this will be the actual plain inner sleeve, but the original one. And no, this looks nice. Look at that yellow and black spatter. Really nice bright yellow. As I say, really enjoying Gordon Chapman Fox's work. I heartily recommend anyone with even a remote interest in synth music, give Warrington-Runcorn a try, as he's great. Let me just put this postcard and this sticker in here as well, so I can keep everything together as it should be. But that is the first album, a bit expensive, but when I saw it for 40 and other editions, both this colour variant and others, were going for a lot more, I thought £40, it's relatively worth it really. So I got Interim Report March 1979. And that's it for Records Roundup number 96. Lots to listen to, as there always is. I've got a feeling the next Records Roundup will possibly be when I get to show however many of the Record Store Day pickups I was able to pick up. I'm saying pick up a lot here. I don't like repeating words that near to one another. It's irritating, isn't it? But then again, look who's talking. Anyway, I'm not saying that's definite. I mean, obviously, I always do kind of a Record Store Day special for Records Roundup, whether it'll be number 97 or whether I've got enough between now and Record Store Day where the Record Store Day stuff gets saved over to 98. Who knows? I'm trying actually not to spend too much money this month, believe it or not, but I did say that last month, and look at all this that I've got. But because it's Record Store Day and there is quite a lot of releases this year that I'm shooting for, then really the sensible thing is to just dial down on the vinyl purchasing for at least the next 4 weeks or so, and have a go at getting as much as I can when all the RSD online sales start on that Monday following, is it April the 20th this year? It'll be very soon when you're watching this, but as I'm recording it, it's still March, so it's still a good few weeks away. Anyway, thank you for watching today. I want to say special thanks to all my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and please join me again next time for my next Records Roundup video and record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!